All right. Well, it's the first day of January, and hopefully you saw my video yesterday to find out why I'm doing this again. I actually got my Sony camera. I switched from a handy cam over to my Sony cam, and I'm a little bit happy with how this looks. I think it's going to be a better view, get a little bit more of the background of the room and all that kind of stuff. But seeing as that it is the beginning of a new year, January 1st, at the time that I am talking about this, I figured I would take a moment to discuss what the last year of my life was like, where I'm at in life, and what's going on possibly going forward. So 2022 was, for all intents and purposes, a very good year for me. There were several things that I really, really enjoyed. First and foremost, I got to see a lot of music. I got to see a lot of concerts, and it started right off the bat. I was able to take my wife, and we went out to Rochester, and we saw the Wood Brothers, which are one of my favorite bands. I've seen them multiple times. Got a chance to go see them at the Kodak in Rochester. We had actual front row seats, just to get an idea of what it looked like. It was a heck of a show. Love these guys. Yeah, good stuff. So that was in January. Then a few months later, and actually for Christmas the previous year, I bought my stepson Logan tickets to go see Weird Al. Now, I'm not going to show a picture of Logan. He's a minor, but Logan looks a lot like Weird Al Yankovic. He's got long hair, super curly. He's a little nerdy and all that kind of stuff, which, obviously he's known for his nerdiness. But we went to go see him, and it was an amazing show. I've actually never seen him live before. So it was my first time, absolutely blown away. We got a chance to meet him afterward and talk to him. He was really cordial, super friendly. We had some great photographs. It was a really, really good time. Skipping forward a few months, in the early part of June, I got to go see Robert Plant and Alison Krauss at Canandaigua. Brought my friend Brian. It was a wonderful show, and I've been wanting to see Robert Plant my entire life, and to finally get a chance to see him live, even though he didn't do a lot of his songs from the 80s and the 90s that I love, he did some classic Led Zeppelin stuff with Allison backing him up. It was actually really amazing. Later in June, my father, Larry, turned 70. And for his 70th birthday, I decided I wanted to do something really special. And an artist that I've been following since the 1990s is Jeffrey Gaines. And I got Jeffrey. I was able to get him to come out to my father's house in Fleming, the house that I grew up in, and perform in our backyard. And I ended up inviting a bunch of people and just asked them, bring a gift card, bring some cash, bring some yarn, because my dad's a big crocheter. And Jeffrey did not disappoint at all. It was an absolutely amazing show. Yeah, so that was amazing. And, the other thing that goes along with that is that, he was really, really cool with my dad. And, we got a photo with him afterward. It was really fantastic. I mean, it really just was one of those highlights of the entire year for me. And then fast forward a few months, got to go see one of the greats who I've seen years and years ago. I saw him with Billy Joel, but I never got to see him alone by himself. And we had utterly amazing tickets to go see with the one and only Sir Elton John. And this was incredible. Yeah, he never, ever, ever let you down. That man was amazing. His voice is not what it used to be, but I will tell you, it was still an absolutely phenomenal concert. Now, along the way, I also went up to Beacon Skiff. Now, Beacon Skiff is a apple orchard that does a whole concert series throughout the summer, and I went up there for, I believe, 7 shows. Head in the Heart. I got, Death Cab for Cutie. There was a bunch of shows, fantastic stuff. And then in September, went with my friend Joe out to Buffalo. We went to the Borderlands Festival, which was just an incredible good time. Brought my camper, stayed right there on the premises. It was a phenomenal time. Also, back in the summer, one of the other major highlights of my year was my oldest, who had a rocky time of it the last few years. COVID during his junior and senior year of high school was really hard, and we didn't know what his future was going to look like. But as it turned out, he did end up going to college, and he's a student at Onondaga County Community College. And as part of that, he's able to be a part of the Syracuse marching band. And when I found out he was going to join the Syracuse marching band, it warmed my heart. I'm a huge Syracuse football fan. I've grown up watching Syracuse football. I've been a season ticket holder a couple different times in my life. The last several years, I've had very good season tickets. I'm actually right behind the football team. I'm in the fifth row. I can actually talk to the players if I wanted to. I'm that close. And it's just an incredible time. In fact, in a minute here, you're going to see a shot, some video that I shot from my seat. But, to see him be able to perform with the marching band was just incredible. And that is him right there in the middle with the Barry sax. Yeah, so, I mean, and the thing is, let me just grab this over here real quick. This piece I'm going to be working on for a while, but I don't know where the image went. I think I lost it. Oh, what a shame. But yeah, he was with them the whole year. He's been doing pep band. But the football season ended up being a pretty good one. We went to a bowl game. In case you didn't pay attention, we lost, but they ended up in the Pinstripe Bowl. But here's a little shot of the football team. This is how they enter. So this is from my seats at the, since JB something wireless dome now. They don't even have good cell service there, so why it's sponsored by a wireless company, I have no idea. But this is the Syracuse football entrance and how they come onto the field for every single home game. And it really is just fun. The lights are really cool. They light everything up in orange, and then they march onto the field. So it was a good year for football. They won almost all of their home games. I think they only lost, I want to say they lost 2 home games, maybe only 1. I got to go back and think about it now. I didn't realize how far into the video it was before they come running on. Oh, here we go. Now they're running onto the field. Yeah, so you can see how close I am to the field. I mean, they're really fantastic seats. Now, the funny thing is, back in 2016, I started working with Syracuse University Athletics, not the football team. I was working with women's field hockey first. Ange Bradley, who just retired as the coach of the Syracuse University field hockey team, brought me on the year after they won the national championship, and I started working with her players. And the year after that, volleyball brought me on. I've worked with tennis. I've worked with softball. And during COVID, it got weird. They were weird about having contractors on campus, so I wasn't up there a lot. And this year, I finally got back up there. Ange reached out to me, and I started working with the women's field hockey team. And for the first time since I've been working with them, I ended up going to the postseason with them. So I was able to go to the ACC tournament down at Duke, and I was able to go to the second round of the NCAA tournament, which was held down in Maryland. And it was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful experience. And in the midst, right in the middle of that time in the postseason with the SU field hockey team, I received an email from Brandon Hall, who is the head trainer for the Syracuse University football team, and I was invited to be part of their team and started in November working with the football players. And I've gotten to know some of them very, very well. I've been working with some of them very closely and, a couple times a week, and it went really well. They finished up the season stronger, less injuries, but most importantly, it was well received by the players, well received by the coaching staff and the trainers, and they've asked me to come back again starting in February this year. So I will be there from strength and conditioning all the way on. And it really is one of the highlights of my career, being a massage therapist, but even though I own my own practice that I've had for almost 10 years now, the the level of success it takes for a Division I football program to invite you in and expose you to their players in a way that can be helpful, but also puts everybody at risk, and for it to go so incredibly well was just unbelievable for me. So that was a real highlight for me this year. And of course, it wouldn't be my life without a bunch of Disney. And while I shot a ton and I got a ton of videos, I've posted those on other places. I'm not going to get too much into those right now. And Disney's also really weird about their music. But the year for me actually started right out. One of the first things that happened is I dragged my wife, Jessica, kicking and screaming. She was not happy about it, but I got us first row tickets to Disney on Ice. And you can't get any closer. This is what they call Main Street, where you're seeing right by them as they're performing. And that was that was quite the start. But then I followed that up just a couple weeks later and made it out to Disney. Actually, not even a couple weeks. It was the week after that. Made it out to Disney for the Dopey Challenge. And I was able to finish the Dopey Challenge. That was my fourth. As you can see there, I've got my celebratory beer. I've got my Goofy Challenge medal, my Dopey Challenge medal, and the Walt Disney Marathon medal that I received. Now, the Dopey Challenge, if you're not familiar with it, it's 4 races in 4 days. You run a 5K on Thursday, a 10K on Friday, a half marathon, which is 13 miles, on Saturday, and then you get back up again and you run a full marathon, 26.2 miles on Sunday. And then you try not to die. Now, I am doing that again this year, leaving, what is today, Sunday? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, leaving in 3 days to go down to Walt Disney World to do it all again. And I am a little bit chubbier in the midsection, and I have not been running a whole ton. So this is going to be an interesting attempt at what will be my 5th Dopey. And I promise my last. I will not be doing it again. As a matter of fact, this time I had to raise $8,000 in support of the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and I've joined their team in training, which is their endurance athletics division of their fundraising goals. So I'll be performing those races in just a few days, and Jessica's going to be joining me down there for that as well. So I'm looking forward to another Dopey Challenge, but we'll see how that goes. Later in the year, I'm going to be doing something that I also did last year, which was the 5-borough bike tour. The 5-borough bike tour is awesome, and this is the start line here. It starts down in Tribeca, Southern Manhattan, and then you essentially just take 5th Avenue all the way up through Manhattan, and then you go up through the Bronx, then down through Brooklyn, Queens, and then you end up going over the Verrazano Bridge over onto Staten Island, and then you end right near the Staten Island Ferry. This is my medal that I received last year. This was in May, first weekend of May. So I'll be doing that again this year. Registration opens in 2 days, so I'll be grabbing the registration for that again. Really looking forward to it. And then the last thing that I am really looking forward to this year, and was a big part of my life last year, was spending time up in the Adirondacks. For those of you that may be in other parts of the country that aren't aware of what the Adirondacks are, it's a mountain range that we have in northeastern New York. And we got high peaks there, peaks that are in excess of 4,000 feet. And while I've climbed one of them before, called Cascade, my goal starting this year and going forward, since I'm not going to run marathons anymore, is I want to go climb the 46 high peaks of the Adirondacks. And we took the boys camping up there last year. I went up there a couple times, but we did take the boys and let them camp with us. And we went out and did a little bit of hiking. And I got what I would consider an absolutely epic shot of Michael. And he was really digging it. He sat up there for a while and just really enjoyed the view that he had. And it was a great time. We did a bunch of hiking, and we did some jumping off cliffs and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. We had a really, really good time. So looking forward to that again this year. And that is essentially about 15 minutes of my time here telling you everything that's happened. If you've caught this on TikTok, for example, this may have been multiple parts. And if you stuck through and watched all the different parts, I appreciate that. I'm new to posting to TikTok. YouTube I've been doing for a long time, but TikTok is brand new for me. So hopefully you've enjoyed watching this. There's a couple links, probably if you're catching this on YouTube, some other videos, checking out some of the stuff I've done before. As I said in yesterday's video, now that I'm back to the daily vlogging thing, some of my older content, which was very politically fiery. I'm not going back to that again. I'm going to avoid that. If I do talk about politics, it's going to be in a high level, more positive spin. I don't want to get into the dirt. I don't want to get into conspiracy theory nonsense again. I don't want to be attacking other groups of people because of how they think or how they feel. I want to keep this overly positive if I possibly can. So thank you for watching the Daily Octane, January 1st. If you're watching this, it'll probably be the 2nd because I'm going to post these the next day. But thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time.